Hey Thomas, how are you?
Hello, I'm very good. How are you doing?
Yeah, doing great, thank you. And it's a pleasure to be able to speak to you because as I'm a big Formula One fan. I had a lot of fun with this film, and I've read that you're a
I
motorsport fan yourself. So I'd love to know
do
a
love my
bit with.
motorsport. What's
Yeah,
that?
did anyone in particular inspire how you approached Ed, being a fan yourself?
How I approached Ed. Well, he's blue. Well, I mean, all Formula One drivers think that they are the best in the world. That's how they are the best in the world. But they all think they're better than one another. I think I channeled. If I were to pick anyone, I think I channeled a bit of Russell.
Yeah, yeah, good pick.
Mm.
And with when a voiceover role like this comes your way, what is it that really attracts you to a project like this one, and what do you look for in a character like Ed?
Well, I read the script and it was all about racing. I love racing. And I got to be a little bit arrogant at first, and there was a progression as he gets the opportunity to view his own life from the perspective of another, and then make adjustments to his the way he goes about conducting himself. I just thought that was quite interesting, and she's a Ed is a great, fun, vivacious character, and he's a very kind of insular, self-absorbed character that relies on basically his own skill to get him to where he's got, and doesn't really trust any others. And I think that racing world, is a very insular bubble. It's a circus that travels around the world, and everyone just kind of knows each other.
Yeah, for sure. And does your process differ at all when approaching an animated role like this compared to live action? Or does it really, like you said, come down to the script for you and what you find in that with the character?
Well, the scripts, I mean, hugely important because all you have are the words. You don't have any other action. You can't do any acting with your eyes. You can't do any physicality at all. Well, you add the physicality, but only through vocally through your voice. Um, so that's always a challenge, to add all the character nuances, just purely through the vocal. But it's something I enjoy. It's fun being in the booth, and the particular recording studio in Soho. Um, I've recorded that for many years, so I know the engineers very well, and we have a good rapport, and it's always enjoyable.
Yeah, and I always love talking to actors who've done voiceover roles because I know a lot of them say they get very physical in the booth, moving around, or sometimes they lose their voice, getting carried away. Is that something you've experienced or with a
Yeah,
role like
yeah.
this one? Yeah.
No, no, definitely. Yeah, no, you have to. You've got you go through a lot of honey lemon ginger teas. They're just kind of constantly coming into the booth for you. And yeah, no, teas and coffees are not so good, and chocolate's no good because it goes all claggy and you can hear it in the microphone. It's horrible. So they know all the right foods to have and all the right drinks to have, and constantly drinking water. But it's yeah, no, you can get quite lightheaded too with all the effort noises and running and jumping and screaming and
Mm.
shouting. You can you have to pace yourself, and they always leave the screaming, falling, jumping sounds to the very end, when it doesn't matter if they scratch up your voice for the rest of the day. No, it can be taxing, but it's you get to do a whole film in 3 4 sessions plus some pickups. So
Yeah.
it's great.
Yeah, awesome. And talking about the script, but obviously when you're in that recorded booth, did you get to see any character designs, or were you involved at all with how Ed came together in that sense, or did you have to always go in blind and just rely on what was on the page?
It's quite blind. I mean, they try to give you as much information as they can, and as many images as they can, but it's very basic, really. There may be a few rendered images, but that's kind of it. Maybe a little put together of a scene. They normally have one of those, I think, to get funding for the whole project, and this is our idea, and this is as polished as the animation as we can muster at the moment to generate some interest for the show. So you get a kind of little snippet, and then the rest is almost distracting how basic it is when you're watching it. In fact, you can't really watch it. You have to watch it for the timing because they need the scene to be so long. So
Mm.
And they or sometimes they've recorded all the other lines from other actors, and it needs to kind of fit in with that. So it throws up its own unique set of challenges that film acting doesn't.
Yeah, absolutely. And because you got some amazing co-stars in this film, Gemma Arterton, Haley Atwell, Lenny Henry, and I know obviously I'm guessing you weren't in the recording booth with them, but to see a cast like that when this film comes together, how exciting is that for you?
Yeah, no, it's great. It's lovely. Some of those names weren't weren't even attached when I was in the booth. So you're asking questions at the time. You go, oh, do we have anyone for so and so yet? And they go, well, we're out to here, and you kind of have your fingers crossed to pull together as a interesting, eclectic group of actors as possible. And it's also interesting just to kind of you read the characters, and you're interacting with the characters, and you're wondering, oh, I wonder who they're going to get to do that. And then they splice them in, and it somehow works as a scene, which is it's quite a funny way of doing it. A lot of actors I think really struggle with that, because you don't get any rapport. You have to completely make that, it's all completely fabricated. But then that's I think that's part of the kind of the magic of making film and TV and storytelling in general. It is it's smoke and mirrors. It is kind of, it's all made up anyway. So
For sure. And I know you've been fortunate enough to take to the track at Silverstone, and I'm not sure if that was before or after you recorded your lines for the film, but either way, how much fun was it getting to have that experience and then being involved with the movie?
well, Silverstone's a brilliant track. I've been a few times in different things. I've been in a Janetta, and I've been in a BMW M2, I think it was, competition thing,
Oh,
and a one series. But Silverstone's yeah, it's a classic track. It's the home of motorsport, and it's huge. It's the full circuit. It's very flat but very wide. So there's a lot of room to make mistakes, which I definitely did. A few spins, a spin at Cops, spin at Beckett, I think, and yeah, I mean, it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. I love cars. I love engines. I love the smell of hot tires, and petrol, and pushing a machine and man as to the limit. And you're sharing the track. There were 66 Mustangs, and there were 4 GT40s, and there were E-types, and then Porsche Cup cars. So it's mad, and then some V8 converted Mini. So it's a big mix of all sorts of different loud, wonderful cars, all sharing the track, and just wanted to go as fast as possible. It's absolute nuts, but it's wonderful. I hope to do a bit more of it. It's quite a time sensitive thing when I'm a bit
yeah.
all over the place at the moment. So, but I hope to get back on the track in some capacity.
Yeah, fingers crossed. And of course, back to the film, the relationship between Ed and Edda is so key to the story. And what was it about that that really excited and interested you to explore with how things play out with the story?
The fact that they just look at life in two very different ways, and
Mm.
they two quite contrasting ways too, and they learn off of one another. I think Edda matures quite a bit as she is forced to have to take her dream of being a racing car driver, and turn it into an actual reality. And Ed realizes that to actually be truly effective as a not just as a racing car driver, but as an individual, as a person, to be successful in that way, you have to open yourself up to others, and be friendship, team camaraderie, and working together is just as important as any victory.
Yeah, sure. I know you mentioned Russell earlier, and just for the F1 fans out there, do you have a favorite driver or team that you root for as a fan yourself? Or
I am well, this year I'll be supporting Lando. I liked Lando as soon as he came in, and I've always liked McLaren because I started watching in 2007 when Lewis first came about in McLaren. Um, uh, so I'm a Lewis fan from the very beginning. Well, of his Formula One career, anyway. Yeah.
yeah, sure. I'm a Verstappen fan myself, so that's a little bit
My wife's a big
contrasting, I
Verstappen
know,
fan.
but
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
But
gonna
they
be
were
an
very good
interesting few
competitors.
weeks.
So yeah, 2022 and one. That was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I know it's that time of year where Love Actually always comes around. And is that fun for you at this point, or is it a little bit, Christmas is coming in and you get that feeling of, oh, here we go again with that film just coming around
Um,
as it does?
I do always kind of go, okay, here we go again, but it's never with disdain. It's always with a smile on my face. It's a privilege to be, in a movie that's become a classic Christmas cult thing. I watched it the first time since the premiere about 2 Christmases ago, and I'd kind of forgotten. I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was very funny. I thought it was very well done. So no, I'm happy. It's always good. I love Christmas anyway. So
Oh, that's awesome. And that stood the test of time, of course, as of other roles you've done, like Star Wars and Game of Thrones. But have those big franchises come your way, like Marvel or DC? Are those superhero roles interesting to you, or really not so much?
you know, we want to what this is a you know I will do. So I mean, I'm kind of up for doing anything really. So yes, I'm supposed to. Yeah.
Yeah, oh, cool. Well, anyway, thank you so much for your time, Thomas. Congratulations on this film. I think kids are going to have
Thank
a
you.
lot of fun with it and racing fans as well.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
real pleasure
Thanks.
speaking to you, Fred. Thanks so much.
Brilliant. Thanks very much. Cheers.
Have a good day. Cheers.